You think what holds your life back is the economy, the government, or your luck. You are wrong. What holds your life back is in your pocket right now. I want you to stop everything you are doing and open your wallet. But don't look at the money. Look at the anomaly. If you find a single trace of a transaction that has already died, a small record of something you have already consumed and that no longer belongs to you, you will understand where we are going with this. In the tradition of those who master wealth, there is no empty space. Either you are carrying the dead past, or you are making room for the living future. The elite I know never carry the financial garbage that you insist on collecting. I will show you today how this simple piece of paper is screaming to the system that your receiving quota is already full, and why, as long as it is there, new money simply has nowhere to land. Leave a quick comment. If you found a receipt or know which receipt is in your wallet, comment down below what it is for. Coffee, supermarket, last purchase. It will be fun. Have you ever stopped to think why, even working so hard, it seems like there is an invisible ceiling over your head? Why, for some, money flows like a river, while for you it seems like a Herculean effort. The answer is not in the financial market, nor in your spreadsheet. The answer is in the garbage you carry as if it were a treasure. I call this the psychology of dead money. Understand one thing: your wallet is not a closet. It is not a memory storage. It is your sanctuary of flow. In the ancient tradition that governs the most prosperous minds on earth, the container defines the content. If your container is cluttered with records of losses, there is no legal space for profit to manifest. What is a receipt, after all? Think with me pragmatically, without the romanticism of modern organization. A receipt is the physical proof of a separation. It is the trail of a transaction that has already been concluded. It is the death certificate of an amount that left your hands and went into the hands of someone else. When you keep this crumpled piece of paper next to your living bills, you are creating a dangerous neuropsychological confusion. You are telling your subconscious that the past, the debt, the expense, the consumption that is already over, has the same value and the same space as your future earning potential. To the mind of a man who understands power, this is a heresy. It is like carrying the ashes of a feast you ate 3 days ago while trying to smell the food that is yet to be prepared. You are feeding scarcity. Look at the people around you. Men who live on the edge of financial survival usually have bulging wallets, but not with money, with useless papers. It's the parking receipt from last week, the pharmacy invoice, the receipt from Tuesday's lunch. They keep the past because, deep down, they are afraid that the future won't bring enough to replace what is gone. They cling to the record of the expense as if that guaranteed some security. But the only thing these papers guarantee is visual and vibrational chaos. Chaos, my friend, abhors wealth. The pragmatic elite operates surgically. If a document is necessary for accounting, it is digitized, archived in a cold system, and the original paper is destroyed. It never, under any circumstances, enters the sanctuary of the pocket. Why? Because a free man does not carry the weight of his past transactions. He walks light. He looks at his wallet and sees only clarity. He sees aligned, clean bills ready to be used with intention. He does not see the ghost of the money that is already gone. By keeping this clutter in your pocket, you are emitting a constant signal to the system, a signal that you are a hoarder of records, not a master of flows. The universe, just like physics, detests a vacuum, but it also respects occupied space. If the space that should be available for new money is occupied by reminders that you paid the rent, the electricity, or the coffee, you are literally screaming, "My quota is full. I already have enough papers here." Stop acting like an archivist of losses. Start acting like an architect of gains. The first step to changing your financial reality is not earning more. It is clearing the path so that what you already deserve can arrive. Take out the trash. Exercise those papers. Understand once and for all, whoever lives on receipts is condemned to repeat the cycle of paying. Whoever lives in clarity is ready for the cycle of receiving. There is an ancient concept that the great patriarchs and masters of negotiation keep under lock and key. It is the law of Bina. In literal translation, Bina means comprehension or understanding. But in the world of raw money, Bina means clarity of structure. Imagine that your financial life is a building. If the foundation is confusing and the ground is full of rubble, the structure will never rise. The same goes for your wallet and your mind. I want you to understand the invisible mathematics of the container. Where there is chaos, there is no room for blessing, or as we say in the market, there is no room for sustainable profit. Chaos is capital's greatest enemy. Money is an energy that seeks order. It flows to where there is control and flees from where there is confusion. When you open your wallet and come face to face with that mass of crumpled papers, receipts from months ago, and useless proofs of expenses, you are creating a visual noise that blinds your perception of value. Think with me. How can you manage an empire if you cannot manage what you carry in your own pocket? The law of Bina teaches us that the container needs to be clean, to be filled. If a glass is full of mud, it does not matter if you pour the most expensive wine in the world into it. The result will be undrinkable. If your container of flow, your wallet, is full of documentary mud, any new entry of money will be contaminated by the feeling of disorder. Most people live in a state of financial blindness. They do not know exactly how much they have because the real balance is hidden behind a curtain of past debts and papers that are worth nothing. The pragmatist, the mentor who truly understands the gears of the world, knows that clarity precedes conquest. If you cannot look at your pocket and see, in a second, the exact measure of your current power, you have already lost the game. You are operating in the dark. The ancient elite does not carry receipts because the receipt is the symbol of slavery to consumption. The receipt screams that you are a payer. The clean bill screams that you are a holder. Do you notice the difference in frequency? The moment you clean your container, you are applying the law of Bina in practice. You are removing the distractions that prevent your brain from focusing on the next move. Where there was once the reminder of a $10 expense, there is now a vacuum. And the vacuum, my friend, is magnetic. A clean container signals to your subconscious that you have absolute control. This generates brutal confidence when negotiating, when investing, and when retaining. The man who has an organized wallet where every bill is in its place and the garbage has been banished is a man who treats money with respect. And money, like any force of nature, responds to respect with loyalty. Do not fool yourself into thinking this is just an aesthetic habit. It is a declaration of war against mediocrity. It is the transition from the survivor who gathers papers mentality to the mentor who commands assets mentality. If you want the oldest money on earth to find its way to you, you need to build the port where it will dock. And this port needs to be impeccable. Clarity is not a luxury. It is the sharpest cutting tool a pragmatist possesses. The time has come to separate the curious from the pragmatic. If you have followed me this far, you have already understood that your wallet is not just a leather or fabric object. It is the command center of your material reality. And now, I will hand you the protocol. But first, comment protocol, so I know who has followed me up to here. The ritual that the elite executes to guarantee that no interference from the past blocks tomorrow's profit. I call this the discarding of the past. And I want you to do this today without hesitation. The first step is total emptying. I don't want you to just take out what you think is trash. I want you to put everything on the table: bills, cards, coins, and mainly the pile of papers you have been accumulating. Look at that pile. Every receipt, there is a marker of a moment when money left you. If you keep a receipt from a dinner 3 days ago, you are keeping the frequency of that expense active in your pocket. You are telling your brain, I am still paying for this. The rule is absolute. Nothing that represents a dead transaction can spend the night in your sanctuary. If the paper is important for tax purposes or warranty, you will use technology. Digitize it. Take a picture, upload it to the cloud, archive it in a cold folder on your computer. The moment the bit replaces the atom, the weight disappears. The physical paper must be destroyed. There is something profoundly liberating about tearing up a receipt of debt or completed consumption. It is a psychodynamic sign that that account is closed, the cycle has ended, and you are ready for the next one. Now, look at what is left. The cash. How is it organized? If your bills are crumpled, folded any which way, or mixed without order, you are disrespecting the tool that moves the world. In the wisdom of the ancients, how you treat the little determines how you will deal with the much. Align your bills. Put them all facing the same direction. The highest denomination bills must always be at the front, visible. Why? Because when you open your wallet, the first image your brain should process is that of abundance, not that of spare change. You need to get used to the sight of high value. This eliminates the fear of spending and instills the confidence of possessing. Coins. Get rid of them. Coins are noise. They are heavy, make noise, and represent the fragmentation of wealth. Have a container at home for them, but do not carry them in your center of flow. The pragmatist carries bills that represent maneuvering power, not metal that represents spare change. Your wallet should be thin, elegant, and functional. If it is fat because of papers and coins, it is sick. A healthy wallet is one that has plenty of room for what is yet to come. This ritual must be done every night. It is your spiritual and mental cash closing. By zeroing out your wallet and leaving it only with the essential and the potential, you will sleep in the state of prepared vacuum. You wake up the next day without the chains of yesterday's expenses. You enter the market with a clear mind, focused only on capturing new opportunities. Remember, the world doesn't give you what you want. The world gives you what you can manage. If you prove that you can maintain absolute order in the small space of your pocket, you prove that you are ready to manage the large sums that life reserves for the disciplined. The ritual is simple, but the consequences are monumental. Starting today, your wallet ceases to be a graveyard of receipts and becomes the incubator of your fortune. Do this now. Don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow only belongs to those who have cleaned up the trail of yesterday. I am not here to convince you of anything. Pragmatism does not live on opinions. It lives on observable results. Therefore, I do not want you to just accept what I said as a theoretical truth. I want you to submit yourself to the 7-day test. For a week, you will operate under the law of absolute clarity in your pocket. And I am going to tell you exactly what will happen to your mind and your relationship with money during this period. Prepare yourself, because the initial discomfort is the sign that your old scarcity mentality is dying. In the first 2 days, you will feel a visceral strangeness. When you open your wallet and do not find that mass of papers, receipts, and expense reminders, your brain will try to sabotage you. It will say that you forgot something important, that you lost a vital record. It is your hoarder ego trying to regain control. Ignore it. Feel the vacuum. Observe how, for the first time in years, you can count your money in less than 2 seconds. This speed of perception is the first step towards the speed of execution in the market. Upon reaching the 4th day, something profound begins to change in your decision-making. Since you have performed the cleaning ritual every night, your brain now knows that any expense you make will have to be confronted, digitized, and discarded. This creates a filter of awareness. Before taking the card out of your wallet for an impulsive purchase, you will visualize the cleaning process at night. You will begin to ask yourself, is this object I am buying worth the trail it will leave in my sanctuary? Most of your frivolous expenses die in this filter. You stop leaking wealth through the details and start retaining capital by principles. On the 6th day, clarity transforms into confidence. You will notice that you walk differently. The man who knows exactly what he carries, who has no hidden trash, and who keeps his container impeccable, emits a vibration of dominance. In a business meeting, in a sale, or in an investment, this internal order overflows. You are no longer worried about what you spent yesterday. You are focused on what you will capture today. The weight of the past has left your pocket, and the lightness of the future has entered your step. On the 7th day, you will look back and realize that your bank account hasn't changed by magic, but by management. By cleaning the container, you forced your mind to stop looking at the loss and start looking at the balance. The dead money has been exorcised, and the living money now has room to breathe. You will find that your financial anxiety has dropped drastically. Why? Because anxiety is the daughter of chaos. Where there is order, there is peace. Where there is peace, there is strategy. And where there is strategy, profit is inevitable. This test is not about paper. It is about who you become when you decide to no longer carry the weight of the world on your back. It is about the difference between the man who is a slave to his records and the mentor who is master of his resources. If you complete the 7 days, you will never be able to go back to having a dirty wallet again. The contrast will be unbearable. You will have proven to yourself that the discipline of keeping the container clean is the foundation for attracting the large sums that only visit places where clarity is the supreme law. Accept the challenge. The next 7 days are your portal to the oldest money on earth. We have reached the end of this path, but for you, the game is just beginning. If you executed the ritual and committed to the 7-day test, you are no longer the same person who hit play on this video. The difference between success and failure, between lasting wealth and anxious survival, comes down to a single distinction that most ignore: the difference between keeping and retaining. The poor keep. They keep receipts, they keep grudges, they keep records of every cent that went out to prove to the world that they are victims of an expense system. By keeping the past, they become prisoners of it. The pragmatist, the mentor, the man who builds empires, he does not keep, he retains. Retaining is an act of power. Retaining means keeping the essence, the control, and the necessary space to maneuver. When you clean your wallet of useless papers, you stop keeping losses and start retaining authority over your present. Understand the brutal symbolism of this. A wallet full of receipts is a graveyard. A clean, organized wallet focused solely on the potential for exchange is an incubator. Money is like an entity that seeks order. It flees from chaos and seeks rest in containers that demonstrate management capacity. If you cannot maintain order in what you carry in your pocket, how do you expect life to entrust you with the weight of millions? The mathematics of the universe is cold and fair. You only receive what you prove you have the structure to sustain. From today on, every time someone offers you a receipt, you will see it for what it truly is, a test of clarity. You will look at that paper and know that its place is in the dead archive or in digital disposal, never in your center of flow. You will feel a physical discomfort if anything other than real value touches your leather. This discomfort is your new wealth thermometer. It is the sign that your mind now operates on the frequency of those who command, not of those who merely pay the bills. What I taught you today is not a home economics tip. It is a law of emotional and financial engineering. The oldest money on earth is not conquered solely with sweat, but with the discipline of silence and order. When you clear the space, you invite abundance to sit at the table. If you recognize the value of this clarity, mark this moment by clicking like. Those who understand that knowledge is the strongest currency, click the subscribe button below and become part of this mentoring circle and receive alerts whenever there is a new video. The past has already consumed your money. Do not let it consume your future as well. Clean the container, prepare the vacuum, and watch with the coldness of a pragmatic mentor as reality reorganizes itself to fill the space you finally had the courage to create. I do not teach miracles. I teach mathematics, and mathematics never lies.